his hand constantly transferring to the ground what he had thought out in his mind, Tiepolo was a true example of artistic bliss. In his works he presented a sublime craftsmanship, a grace and a brilliance of colour that is without comparison.
Ever since the Renaissance, the Venetian school had produced magnificent works of art. Through Giovanni Battista Tiepolo in the 18th century, it again reached a late zenith. But Tiepolo was also the last of the great Venetian painters. In the early 18th century, Venice was a dazzling city. In the struggle for supremacy in the Eastern Mediterranean, this Italian lagoon city, known at the time as the Queen of the Seas, had achieved victory over the Turks once again. But this had only been possible thanks to massive support from Austria. At this time, Venice was turning in on itself. The Venetians celebrated themselves. There were more places of entertainment here, more theatres and cafes, than anywhere else in Europe. Nowhere was idleness pursued as euphorically as in Venice. The city attracted jugglers, gamblers and travellers seeking to educate themselves. Venice was starting to become aware of its political insignificance. A tremendous final effort was made to evoke the city republic's great past. In this situation, the work of a young painter began to conquer the Venetian art world. Giovanni Battista Tiepolo displayed wonderful artistic gifts right from the start. He was a master of lightness and illusion. His works make a realistic and immediate impression on the observer. In 1724, he painted this fresco, The Force of Eloquence, in the Palazzo Sandi. The composition shows the walls and towers of Thebes rising to the sound of Amphion's lyre. It is comprised of separate scenes from classical mythology. The recurrent theme is the eloquence of his patron, a distinguished Venetian lawyer called Tommaso Sandi. Tiepolo loved a joke. Unexpectedly, a cheeky child looks straight at the observer, incorporating him into the turbulent scene as if he were an integral part of it. This early work in the Palazzo Sandi already gives an indication of how Tiepolo would compose his later ceiling paintings. He arranged important constellations of figures around the periphery, while at the centre the sky opens up to form an infinite, illusionistic space.